Welcome to the age of the isms, where everyone needs a label, a tribe, and a hashtag to feel relevant. Feminism, nationalism, environmentalism, idealism. It's a buffet of identities. And yet, instead of solving problems or fostering understanding, these labels often morph into battle flags for mindless wars of ideology. The real tragedy? We trade logic, nuance, and even basic human decency for the privilege of shouting, "My ism is better than your ism." Adopting an extremist stance is the intellectual equivalent of wearing blinders. It's efficient, sure. You no longer have to wrestle with pesky nuance or context. Everything is either good or evil, ally or enemy, Marvel or DC. Take the Marvel vs. DC fandom wars. Both tell superhero stories. Both are about spandex and emotional backstories. And yet, the internet is ablaze with debates so fiery they could melt vibranium. Why? Because once you pick a side, you stop thinking. You're no longer debating the merits of storytelling. You're defending your label like it's your firstborn child. Woke was born with good intentions, social awareness, equality, justice, but like a poorly run sequel, it spiraled out of control. Instead of driving meaningful conversations, it became a circus act, with every performer out-extreming the last. What started as "let's make the world better" turned into "let's cancel someone for a tweet from 2008. The result? People now roll their eyes at the term, not because they oppose justice, but because they are tired of the noise drowning out the signal. Feminism at its heart is about equality, but factions within it have veered into extremes that sometimes alienate the very people they're trying to help. Similarly, the right versus left political battle isn't about finding the best solutions anymore. It's about being right even when you are painfully, obviously wrong. Rational conversations about real issues, pay equity, healthcare, climate change, get bulldozed under the weight of us versus them rhetoric. The result? Stalemate. And everyone loses except the people selling the outrage merch. Here's the thing about aligning too tightly with any ism. It turns you into a hammer. And suddenly, every problem looks like a nail. Nuance, empathy, perspective, they're thrown out like last season's fashion. Instead of asking, "what's the best solution?" we ask, "what's the solution that fits my ideology?" It's not problem solving, it's brand loyalty. And while that works for sneakers, it's a disaster for societal progress. Nuance isn't sexy, it won't trend on Twitter, and it won't win you internet clout. But it's where the real work happens. It's where we acknowledge that life isn't a battle between villains and heroes. It's a complicated mess of conflicting priorities, perspectives, and values. Consider Malala Yousafzai. She is a feminist, yes, but she doesn't waste time on ideological turf wars. Instead, she focuses on education, a universal value that transcends the label. She is proof that when we zoom out and focus on the big picture, we actually get things done. The problem with all the isms is that they promise clarity but deliver chaos. By clinging to rigid labels, we lose the ability to think critically and engage meaningfully. We let our ideologies do the talking, even when they make zero sense. The solution? Stop treating life like a debate team competition. Embrace nuance. Listen more than you speak. And for the love of logic, stop arguing over Marvel or DC is better. They are just movies, not a moral philosophy. Because at the end of the day, no ism will solve the world's problems. People will. And people are messy, complicated, and wonderfully unpredictable, just like life itself. If you're tired of ideological warfare and love the power of nuance, check out how note-setting goals can change your life. Sometimes the best path forward is less about extremes and more about finding balance.